Hello folks, it is Monday today. Welcome to weekly vlog number 6. Yes, I did film a couple of bits over the weekend, but something weird has happened with the footage. I don't know what's going on, but the sound's all weird on it. So hopefully this works now. My phone was obviously having a bit of a fit. So I will recap what happened over the weekend. I read The Vampire Knitting Club by Nancy Warren for the first of my proper full reads for GarbAugust. Yeah, that was really good fun actually. So yes, it's kind of what it says on the tin really. It was very cosy with a cat in it. So that will do for the middle square for the bingo board. A cozy mystery with cats. That's the prompt in honour of Alice from Alice in the Giant Bookshelf. So that's one crossed off already. But yes, it was decent. It was good fun. So I got through that. So I'm just thinking about what to read next. I may put on the audiobook of Wasteland Warlords number 2 because that's quite short, and I enjoyed that. It's very silly fun. I enjoyed the first one that I read in February. So one book down. That's all good. Today I have been cracking on with my proofreading training. Get further into that today, finding that I am a lot better at grammar than I thought I was. But yeah, it's really interesting actually. It's very interesting to kind of look at, what you should and shouldn't change in proofreading, and also how to change things. Keeping in mind things like typesetting and not wanting to upset the layout too much. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's quite intense focus, which is good. But it's nice to do it for a sort of short amount of time and kind of crack on with that. So yes, today, as I say, I've been doing my training, bits and pieces of kind of prepping some more artwork, but also I've had a trip to the vets with the cat this time. I think it's the cat's turn to be a little bit poorly. Not really poorly, to be fair, but she's old now and things crop up. Like she got a claw that had kind of grown really long that she'd not been able to kind of, sort of scrat off, and it kind of curled round and got embedded in her little toe beans. So we took her to the vets today to get her claws clipped a little bit shorter. Yes, another trip to the vets with another ailing pet. It never stops, does it? So yeah, but she's all sorted now, so that's all good. So working hours are coming towards a close now, and I think I will record a little booktube video. I got tagged in a tag video last week, so I think I'll get that recorded this evening. As I say, it's about 5 o'clock now, so work day's done pretty much. So I think I will crack on and film that. Good evening again, folks. I filmed my booktube video, my tag video, get that sorted for tomorrow. But while I was waiting for it to convert before I edit it, I started building my little Warhammer beasties. So I'm just putting the models together at the moment, but I managed to get one done. It's quite fiddly. So there we go. There's the first one. You can see that. They're very, very tiny. If I hold it close to my face, you can see quite how tiny it is. It's, yeah, very small. But yes, fun so far, but yeah, fiddly, quite fiddly. Hello folks, it is about 11 o'clock at night, Monday night, and I've read or listened to a couple of hours of Wasteland Warlords number 2, so the sequel to Wasteland Warlords number 1, which is a lit RPG series set in a post-apocalyptic vision of America where a game world has bled through into the real world, and the characters have to go on adventures to go into infested zones and battle game monsters. It's fantasy stuff. But it's bonkers, and yeah, the first one was bonkers, and this one is just as bonkers. So yeah, highly enjoyable. Some really just interesting, silly characters. You've still got the mecha raccoon from the first one, and now you've also got a talking teacup pig, which is actually the cursed form of a dragon dungeon boss. Basically, so we've got a kind of a traveling carnival dungeon with the dungeon boss who speaks like something straight out of a Tennessee Williams play. It's just, yeah, it's random. It's really random. But if you like your games and things like that, then it's highly entertaining. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. It's a very short one. It's only about 4 hours long, so I shall have that finished up tomorrow. I've only got a couple of hours left now. So yes, so I've enjoyed that this evening. But yeah, that's all I've read this evening. I didn't go into Garbology. I'm kind of waiting on Garbology now because the physical copies should be here hopefully tomorrow, and I'm very excited about that. So yeah, I will obviously let you know when those arrive. So ooh, exciting. So yeah, I'd much prefer to read that in its physical form than on the ebook. Ebooks are great, you know, for portability, but I really just want to see everything, you know, in print on the page and flick through it and stuff like that. Yeah, it feels more real then in some respects. Hello folks, it is Tuesday. I have been doing my studying this morning, doing my proofreading stuff. It's very good, but it's quite intense focus wise. So I just stopped for some lunch, and whilst having lunch, a parcel arrived. But you can guess what this is. It is Garbology, the proper good big chunky paperback versions. So as an author I get 2 copies. There we go, there's the second one. And yeah, I'm so excited to have this in my hands finally. I immediately just kind of flicked through, found my name in it, which is weird and awesome. And yeah, I'm gonna enjoy sitting down and reading this properly, like in paper format now. As I say, I've been reading it on ebook, but it's not the same. There's something just lovely about having the book in your hands, especially when it's something that you're a part of. So yes, so 2 copies, my 2 copies of Garbology there. Very pleased to finally have that in my mitts. So yes, I'll have to put those to the side and read them later, because for now I'm going to crack on with a little bit of writing. I think I'm in a writing mood today, so I've got the red pen out and printed out what I've got for my Rock Shark stuff, and I'm just scrolling all over it and editing it and changing bits and doing lots of stuff to it, because I think I can. I know what I'm doing now in terms of how I think I make it work. So I'm going to crack on with that and get a bit further with that, I think. So another day done in terms of work. Anyway, my missus is on tea cooking duty tonight, so she's just doing that. So I'm about to head downstairs, ready for my tea. I think it's nice salmon pasta tonight. It's one of my favourites. So yeah, so I've just been spending the last half an hour making another Warhammer model, getting better just in terms of the fiddliness now. A bit quicker this one, but yeah, I've got a couple more to make and then I can start painting them, so I'll try and get those made tomorrow. I got a load of work done on From Beneath this afternoon, so I'm kind of feeling good about that one now. It's getting there, it's definitely getting there. And then I also planned my video recording that I'll be doing tomorrow, ready for my video on Friday, which is my July wrap-up. So productive day today, productive day. So yes, so I'm going to pop downstairs for tea now, and then I'll be reading some more or listening to some more Wasteland Warlords later on, and I should get that finished tonight. Come on, people. Good boy. Hello folks, it is Wednesday today. It's getting towards the end of the day. I have had a very productive day doing my proofreading, editing training stuff. So I've got lots done today. Yes, I'm only just checking in because of that. Yes, last night I finished up Wasteland Warlords book 2. A nice short little installation in that series. It's about 4 hours long in total on audiobook, read by Travis Baldry, so the narration's very good. Yeah, another good, fun and funny, bonkers little tale, lit RPG. Not quite as much in terms of the character development in this, but then we'd already got that from the first one. This one was just all out daftness in terms of the sort of dungeons that they're going into, and it's a big carnival kind of dungeon with all the kind of carnival games and stuff like that. And as I say, we've still got a mecha raccoon, and we've got a talking pig as well, teacup pig, and various different bonkers characters. So yeah, really good fun with that. Really glad I read another one of those, and I will keep reading that series. There are quite a few in that series, and they're all quite short. That I'll save those for future GarbAugusts and GarbAugust wasted weekends, I think, or if I just fancy a bit of quick, good, trashy fun. So got through that one. What else have I been doing? I finished up like my work at sort of 4 o'clock-ish. So for the last half an hour or so, I've just been thinking ahead and thinking about what I might want to do reading-wise in September. It's shorty September, so I will probably try and read some short stuff for that. Probably some sort of short stories, like I did last year, where I went on to kind of the Amazon Originals collections and read some of the short stuff on there. I think I'll do some of that again. But in terms of my actual, full book reading, I think I'm going to tackle some series that I've started and I need to finish / get further into. I am a serial series unfinisher. And I want to rectify that. So yes, I've been thinking about that, because I definitely want to read Children of Memory, because I want to read that before it disappears out of my head completely, the other two, Children of Time and Children of Ruin. I've got some Becky Chambers that I've got the Wayfarers series on the go for that. I've got a few sci-fi series, because that's the sort of thing where there's plenty in the series. So Foundation, Southern Reach trilogy, Jeff Vandermeer. I've got the other two of that. What is currently a trilogy. What will soon be a quadrilogy. I want to get the next two in that series done, so I can read the new one when that comes out later in the year. Might go for something like The Meg, something a bit trashy. Keep the trashy stuff, keeping going after August. There's quite a few things that I want to kind of keep going with. And then there's some that I want to start. So I think if I, can I give myself a rule, like, if I continue a series or I finish a series, I'm allowed to start a new one. Then I've got quite a few things like in my collections that I've been meaning to get to for a while, but I haven't started because they are series. So I've got The Gunslinger, I've got, Dark Tower to start for Stephen King. I've got the Chronicles of Prydain to have a go at, recommended by Mr. Troy Tradup. I've got more Warhammer series to start. And the one that I'm mulling on, which I'm not sure whether I'll go for because it's quite heavy, is The Three Body Problem. I've got that on audio, and I do really want to read it, but I don't know that it's a bit much to crack on with that in September, whether I'm over-facing myself with that one. But I'll have a mull. So that's what I'm thinking. So if you've got any input on any of the things that I've mentioned there, which one do you think I should continue, which one do you think I should start, then do let me know. I'm open to suggestions.
Should we go for a walk, Babs? Shall we? Shall we go walkies? Yeah, walkies.
So, had a nice walk with the dog. So I'm going to go and cook some tea now. I say cook some tea. Got chili out of the freezer and I'm going to put it on some nachos. That's it. Not really cooking, heating up the tea, but nice cheeky nacho tea. And then I think I'm going to sit down and try and get through a couple of comics this evening. I've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the IDW collection to get through. And I've also got Ultimatum, the Marvel comic, the controversial Marvel comic. So I might try and get through those two tonight, because I'm quite worded out after my study today. So I might just look at some nice pretty pictures, or not so pretty pictures if it's Ultimatum. I think it's meant to be quite violent. But it'll be colourful and easy to read, so I'll give that a go, I reckon, tonight. So good evening, folks. I've had the evening reading. First of all, some comics. I read Ultimatum, or Everyone Dies, as I think it should be retitled. Yeah, that's not a good comic. It's very, very trashy, but it's not a good comic. It's very much, it comes across as shock tactics. It's extremely violent, hyper violent. I'm not a fan of the kind of artwork that it is. It's all kind of very big muscles, big boobs kind of stuff. It's not my cup of tea at all in terms of the art style. The writing's pretty poor, and yeah, just not great. I'm glad I've read it so that I could see what the hoo-ha was all about, because I know it was very controversial when it came out years ago. So yeah, I'm glad I've read it and made my own mind up, but yeah, not a good comic. And then I read a couple of issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the IDW collection. That so far, I'm only a couple of issues in, but that so far is a good comic. And then I decided that I would start reading or listening to Micro by Michael Crichton, because I remembered, oh yes, in addition to my massive pile of trash for GarbAugust, I also have the other things that I'd got on my reading list for August, which is a couple of Michael Crichton books, a part of that extra reading. So I thought I better crack on with that. So I started listening to Micro. So I'm about an hour into that at the moment. Wow, I'm glad I saved that for GarbAugust as well, because so far the writing in that is ultra trashy. Yeah, the writing's not great. Yeah, the dialogue and stuff like that is quite cheesy. But it's intriguing, it's fun, that's the main thing. It's kind of, at the moment, it's intriguing and it's got a fun factor to it in the fact that it is trashy. So I'm going to crack on with that. My sister's listening in tandem with me. I think she's going to start it tomorrow and catch up to where I am. So that should be fun in itself, just listening to that with someone, and having a bit of a buddy read with my little sis. So yes, so that is what I have done this evening.
Mouse.
Hello folks, it is Thursday today. It is nearly the end of the working day. It's coming up 7 o'clock, so I'm just about to finish up and go downstairs for some tea. Lovely Mrs. is cooking quesadillas this evening. So yes, I'm looking forward to those. I'm quite hungry. But I thought I'd fill you in on the day's events. One bit of news from last night. My That's Not a Spider story didn't get into the anthology that I'd submitted it for. So it's disappointing, but I'm keeping the faith. And I will just resubmit it somewhere else. I've had a little look around at other potential opportunities. There's not a lot out there at the moment, but I will keep my eyes peeled and get it sent off when something comes up, basically, when an opportunity comes up. I know there'll be a home for it somewhere. I've just got to find the right one. So yes, so that's one bit of news. What else? Oh yes, there's a £2.99 sale on Audible. You know how I was saying yesterday about wanting to do this this thing in September, like tackling some series? Well, yeah, this one here is one of the series. This is the second book in the series. I read the first one called Granite last November and really enjoyed it. It's a very gritty crime series set in Aberdeen, and that was one I had on my list for the potential series September thing that I want to do. So I think I might have to have that one. And then of course we've got more Warhammer, Gaunt's Ghosts, which I really like the sound of. So they've got the first and the second in the sale for that. So I might have to have that. And then, yes, Beware the Chicken is just a random one. These are just all from my wish list. And this is another one narrated by Travis Baldry, who's I love his narration. He's very, very good. So yeah, I might have to spend some pennies there as well. So yeah, I don't know whether I can resist a couple of those. Because I'm well into audiobooks at the moment. I've got back into audiobooks in a big way, so yeah, I might have to treat myself. For now, I'm going to go and chill out for a bit while my quesadillas are prepared, and then I'll crack on with some more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tonight, I think, and probably a little bit of Micro as well, the audiobook of Micro by Michael Crichton. So I will catch you either later on tonight or tomorrow. Hello folks, it's Friday. Let's make some art. Okay, so I've got the first bit marked out in pencil. So I just need to watercolour this, just in simple, a bit of grey and some yellow, and that's the basis then that I can print on top of. But as you'll see, I've had to move the desk around. It was over there and now it is over here because I was getting absolutely blinded by the sun and very hot underneath the window. The light is fantastic, but it's too much, it's too good. So I've had to move the desk over into the main bit of the room, and I think I'm just going to have to figure out some lighting solutions. It's okay for now, but when it starts to get into the winter and I don't get the amount of sunlight in here, I'm going to have to come up with a solution. Yeah, so I'm going to do some colouring in with some watercolour pencils, because I like watercolour pencils much better than the general paints, much more control, and get that done before I have a bit of lunch, and then that can dry, and then crack on with the printy bits. I don't think I'll get it finished today because I've had to move stuff around. I think it's going to trip into the weekend or next week, but hey ho, let's get some colouring in done. So I ought to tell you what I'm making here really. This will be a poster inspired by some of the protest posters that I've seen recently on the news from some of the counter-protesters, the anti-fascist counter-protesters who have been out on the streets of the UK in their thousands, supporting communities, showing their support for immigrants, etc., and just standing up to fascism. And also Criminally made a little video recently about the need for publicly speaking out against fascism, and I couldn't agree with him more, and art is my way of doing that. So that's what this will be. This will be my little version of a protest poster. Okay, so all the watercolouring is done. Just need to let that dry now and then put it under some heavy books to flatten out again. Probably touch it up a little bit on Monday perhaps with a bit more of the watercolour. It's a little bit uneven in places, and I need to get rid of the splodge if I can. So yes, I'm not the most practiced with watercolours. I'm very used to acrylics when it comes to paints. But they are quite flat, and I wanted something that was less flat colour.
So yes, so that's where I am up to for today.
So before I sign off for this week, a quick update on what I read last night. I carried on with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the comic. I'm quite far into that now. I should hopefully get that finished off tonight. I've got a huge amount of issues left to go. I'm enjoying that. Little slow at times for me, I think, you know, sort of, well, I think maybe just I'm trying to read too much of it at once. Perhaps it's better if you have, you know, a week in between, or, you know, not try and cram all of those issues into once. But it is good. It is a decent comic, and it is generally good fun. So yeah, so I shall reserve full judgment until I've finished it and can digest it a bit. And I also listened to a little bit more of Micro. Yeah, it's intriguing and there's some fun to it, but it is not the best writing. And it got a little bit slow last night. And we are still quite near the beginning of it, so I'm hoping that it picks up a bit. Otherwise it could get a little dull. So I'm not sure yet. That one's a suck it and see. But yeah, I did end up like dozing off for sort of 10-15 minutes because it wasn't holding my attention. So we'll see on that one. As I say, it's like there's definite intrigue to it, and I'm wondering what on earth's going on. But yeah, it's maybe it's the narrator, maybe it's just the writing. I don't know. My sisters did say though, persevere with it because it does get. It has got like entertainment value just in how ridiculous it is. So I'm gonna take her advice and keep going with that one for a bit longer. I'm not that far into it, so I need to give it a bit of a chance yet. So yeah, so that is where I am up to with my reading. I need to get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles finished and read a couple of vintage pulpy magazines before we finish week 1 of GarbAugust, which finishes at the end of tomorrow. And then we will be into week 2 of category romance and men's adventure. So I've got some other stuff for that coming up. So we'll get into that next week. So yes, so that is it, I think, from me this week. I will sign off there. Thank you very much for watching, folks. As always, do drop your thoughts in the comments below. It's always lovely to hear from you. I will be back on Wednesday with a little video. I'm just going to do a series of videos while it's GarbAugust of top of the trash pile and bottom of the garbage bin, the best and the worst for each week that I read. So yes, that I will be back on Wednesday with that. So I do hope you will join me for that then. But from me, for now, that's ta-ra.